let's be honest, coffee. It's not to drink for a lot of us, is it? It's practically like a silent partner in the workday.
Yeah, the fuel behind the to-do list, right?
Exactly. But here's the big question we're tackling today. Is that habit really helping us get more done? Or is it maybe kind of secretly messing with our focus, our sleep, even our energy?
Well, today we're really putting caffeine, let's say, under the microscope. We're going to use the latest science to see what it's actually doing to your body.
Okay.
And there might be some surprises, things that make you, rethink that daily cup. So the mission for this deep dive is to really break down caffeine's effects, figure out when it helps productivity, when it actually backfires, and what smarter caffeine habits might look like for you.
Okay, so we all know that feeling, right? That immediate jolt after the first sip, you feel more alert. But what's really going on inside our brains? Is it actually making energy?
That's the fascinating part. Caffeine doesn't create energy at all. Not really. But what it does is it basically plays this clever trick on your brain's natural fatigue brake.
Fatigue brake.
Yeah, think of adenosine. It's like this molecule that builds up all day, telling your brain, hey, slow down, time for rest soon.
Okay.
Caffeine molecules look similar enough that they can actually slide in and block those adenosine receptors.
Ah, so they jam the signal.
Exactly. The fatigue message gets blocked temporarily. So you feel awake, but it's not because you suddenly have more fuel. It's just the tired signal is on mute.
Wow. So it's not adding fuel, just hitting mute on the I'm tired alarm. That's a big shift in thinking for me, actually.
It is for many people.
So what happens when we keep hitting that mute button, especially with that afternoon coffee that seems to just hang around forever?
Right. And that's where things get tricky. That's where it can become a bit of a silent saboteur for your sleep.
How so?
Well, caffeine has what's called a half-life, typically around 5 to 6 hours for most adults.
Half-life. So half of it is gone in that time.
Exactly. Which means if you finish a latte at, say, 4 p.m.,
Yeah.
half of that caffeine is still buzzing around in your system at 9 or 10 p.m. when you're trying to wind down.
Whoa. Okay.
There's a study, I think in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine, showing that caffeine, even 6 hours before bed, significantly messes with sleep quality.
So it's not just taking longer to fall asleep.
No, it's more insidious than that. It actually degrades the quality of the sleep.
Oh.
You get less deep sleep, less restorative sleep.
Uh-oh.
And that can trap you in this cycle, right? Core sleep means you feel groggy, so you reach for more caffeine the next morning.
And the cycle continues. Okay, so that late-night doom scrolling I blame on work stress might actually be the ghost of my 4 p.m. coffee.
It absolutely could be contributing, yeah.
This really highlights how crucial timing is then. So let's try and map this out. When is coffee actually working for us, and when does it start working against us?
Good question. So for many people, waiting maybe 60 to 90 minutes after you wake up for that first cup can be really beneficial.
Wait, after waking up, not immediately.
Right. Because your body naturally produces cortisol, kind of its own wake-up signal right when you wake up.
Okay.
If you add caffeine on top of that peak cortisol, it can sometimes be a bit much, maybe lead to jitters.
Yeah.
Waiting until that cortisol starts to dip naturally gives you a smoother lift.
Interesting. So let the body do its thing first.
Exactly. And then, as we just talked about, that late afternoon coffee is definitely the one to watch out for. It directly interferes with your natural wind-down process.
Got it. What about drinking it on an empty stomach first thing? I know people who do that.
Yeah, that can be problematic for some. It can sometimes lead to jitters or maybe amplify a stress response, especially if you're sensitive. Having a little food can buffer that.
Okay. And what about just constantly topping up? You see people with a mug glued to their hand all day. It feels like just running on fumes.
That's exactly where it often becomes counterproductive. You're just building up tolerance.
Tolerance, meaning you need more and more.
Precisely. Your body adapts, so you need higher doses to get that same feeling of alertness. But eventually it leads to more pronounced energy crashes later. You end up feeling kind of wired but tired.
Wired but tired. Yeah, I know that feeling. Needing more just to feel normal, not even focused.
Exactly. You're chasing baseline, not peak performance.
Okay, so if we want to be smarter about this, move beyond just reacting and be more strategic. What are the key things we can actually do? Like actionable steps.
All right, first one, as we said.
Yeah.
Try delaying that first cup. Give it 60 to 90 minutes after waking. Let your natural systems kick in first.
Okay, delay the first cup. What else?
Second, be mindful of your total daily intake. Generally, keeping it under 400 milligrams is a good guideline for most adults.
Which is roughly how much coffee?
About 4 standard 8-ounce cups of brewed coffee, give or take. Depends on the brew, obviously.
Right. And think about how you consume it, too.
Yeah, that can make a difference. Something like cold brew, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Because of how it's made, the caffeine release can sometimes feel a bit smoother, less of a sudden jolt compared to, say, an espresso shot.
Interesting. Less of a spike and crash, maybe?
Potentially, yeah.
4 cups can still sound like a lot to some people, though. So
Yeah.
knowing your own limit is key.
Absolutely. It's very individual.
What about that afternoon slump if we need a little pick-me-up but we don't want to sabotage our sleep later? Are there smarter options than another coffee?
Definitely. This is where things like green tea or matcha can be really good choices in the afternoon.
Why them specifically?
Well, they do have caffeine, usually less than coffee, but they also contain something called L-theanine.
L-theanine.
Yeah, it's an amino acid. It tends to promote a feeling of calm, focused alertness. It actually increases alpha brain waves, which can sort of smooth out the jittery edge you sometimes get from just caffeine alone.
Ah, so alert but calm, not anxious.
Exactly. And here's another tip for sustained energy, whether it's coffee or tea. Try pairing it with some protein or healthy fat.
Like nuts or yogurt.
Perfect examples. That helps stabilize your blood sugar so you avoid those sharp energy spikes and then the big crashes afterwards that can leave you feeling drained, even with the caffeine.
Right, avoiding the roller coaster.
And, studies actually back this up. Research suggests lower to moderate doses, maybe 40 to 200 milligrams, are often optimal for boosting alertness without making you jittery or anxious.
So it's not about quantity, it's about smart dosing and timing.
Precisely. Using it like a tool, not just a default habit.
We've talked a lot about using caffeine smarter, but what if? What if the craving isn't actually for caffeine? What if it's really for genuine, sustained energy? Are there non-caffeine things we should focus on?
That's a really powerful point. Sometimes that feeling, that urge for another coffee is actually just dehydration.
Yeah, just being thirsty.
It happens more often than you'd think. A big glass of water can sometimes give you a surprising lift.
Yeah.
Way healthier than another espresso, obviously.
Huh. Okay, water first. Good tip. What else?
Well, think about the basics. Are you getting enough nutrients that support energy metabolism? Things like magnesium, B vitamins. These are crucial. Deficiencies can definitely lead to fatigue.
Makes sense. Any quick fixes for a mental reset?
Yeah, something simple like the 4-7-8 breathing technique.
How does that work?
Just breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, hold your breath gently for 7 seconds, and then exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. Repeat it a few times. It sounds simple, but it can really help calm the nervous system and reset your focus. No stimulants needed.
A little pause and reset. I like that.
And don't forget movement. Even a short walk, some stretching, gets the blood flowing. Or a balanced snack protein, fiber, healthy fats that gives you real sustained fuel, not just a temporary caffeine mask.
It really sounds like it's about working with your body's natural rhythms, not just constantly pushing it harder.
That's the core idea, yeah.
So this whole deep dive, it really isn't about saying give up coffee, because let's be real, a lot of us genuinely enjoy it.
Absolutely.
It's more about arming you, the listener, with the knowledge to use it better.
Right.
So when you use it strategically with awareness of timing and dose, it stops being this potential saboteur and actually becomes a reliable ally for focus.
Exactly. So, don't fire your coffee, but maybe give it a performance review based on what we've talked about.
I like that. A performance review for your coffee habit.
Yeah. Take these ideas and really think about your own patterns. How could you tweak things to get more sustained focus, better energy, better sleep?
Great advice. Well, until next time, stay focused, stay fueled, and maybe, just maybe, rethink that third espresso.